And we are live. Welcome to Dungeons, Dragons, and Discourse
Oi!
with Glenn Hallstrom, Old Man Grognard,
Triple D.
and myself, Eric Tenkar. We are awaiting Mark Hunt. But since Facebook has no sense of humor when it comes to running late, if we didn't kick off the live stream, Facebook would have kicked us in the nuts and kicked us off. So, we are.
You mean we
live.
have to schedule this with Facebook?
Yes, we got this thing scheduled.
I can't just flip a switch there and say, "Hey, I'm live."
No. It's actually announced ahead of time. That's how we have some live viewers in the room viewing.
But that kills the spontaneity.
There's no spontaneity. Well, the whole show is spontaneity, especially now since our announced guest, is not here yet. Likely due to the different time zones confusion. So
maybe if he doesn't show up, maybe he can do a redo next show.
We'll make it work. Now, here's the interesting thing and we're going to be talking whether or not we get Mark on the show. We are going to be talking about Gangbusters.
Yay!
Now, Glenn is a huge Gangbusters fan. I was like, man, I figured I must own this, right? And I looked, and sure enough, I had the PDF, but I did not realize that Mark had lowered the price of the PDF to 99 cents.
Yes, he has.
On drive-thru. So I'm going to just say this flat out to anybody watching at home, anybody listening on the podcast side. 99 cents, it's a basic fucking freebie or damn close to it. Grab a copy.
It's a great deal.
It's an awesome deal. Oh, here's Mark.
Oh, Marcus.
No, it's not. Sorry, it wasn't Mark. It was the share screen on the bottom showing me I had a third person. That third person is the share screen of Gangbusters.
Right?
No, it's a virtual Mark, and the idea that it's his product.
Oh,
up on
I have this printed out. As far as I know, this is another game he does. I have it printed out here off the PDF because I don't know if there's a hard copy or not. But he also did Tall Tales, Wild West BX Fantasy, or BX Adventure.
He does a good job with the BX stuff. Oh, so Glenn, you in one of your other online projects.
Incarnations.
Yes. Robert wants to know if there's any new Thakos hammers forthcoming.
Not for you. No, yeah, there is a Thakos hammer coming. I've edited 3 shows and put them up and let the powers that be know they're there. So I just record them with my friends and I produce. Eric and I share the production. We do the shows and I put them, when I do mine, I put them up. Hey guys, there it is. It probably has something to do with Eric's schedule. I will have to talk to him, but yes, there's new Thakos hammers coming. We've got like 5 episodes that we haven't put up. Hey,
Derek Jones just called Mark. So see,
thank you, Derek Jones. We should have you on the show. What do you do? No. Yes, I'm sorry, David. This Gangbusters is based on BX.
Always enjoying the banter. Thank you, Robert. Well, Glenn and I do a lot of banter. We've been doing a lot of banter for a lot of years. The banter that Glenn and I do is a little bit different than what Bad Mike and I do, because Bad Mike and I, our banter is generally based upon the fact that we work gaming booths at conventions multiple times a year, with us doing usually 80% of the booth time. So
I do some booth time one time of the year.
Yes, we had Glenn cover the booth one time, and
one time. I've been there more than once. Well, I've covered Bad Mike's booth too. So
true, and I've carried Jeff Tawnian's booth. I've double boothed, yes, over at TotalCon. I've covered Jeff's booth. It's Derek, yes, you kick ass and take names all day long. and then at night you just
Does that
drink.
pay good? Does that pay good? I need a job. Does that pay good?
Kick ass, take names, and have a Corona Light. By the way, just as a total side step here, right? I picked up Miller Lite last week and said, let me see what Miller Lite tastes like with a little lime. And it tastes like a totally new beer with a little lime spritz in it. So I got to say, the idea of having Corona with lime is a great idea, but it seems to work with other Pilsner type beers. So it's not a bad deal.
I'm not a beer aficionado.
I used to be until I had my congestive heart failure / type 2 diabetes out of control. I was a beer schnob, and now I'm like, fuck it, it's gonna have to be light beers and lighters. So,
well, I'm in that space right now.
Understood. You know,
I'm in that space. I'm going to have some hard stuff too to kick me in the butt. So, hey, there we go. Well, you know, I'm like April. End of April. I'm going to be 64. So yeah, you know, it's that, prostate exams, flu shots. You know, the usual stuff.
Yeah. It's like when your car gets older, instead of bringing it in like like every 6 months for an oil change and once a year for the inspection. Next thing you know, you're like, I need the brakes done. Can you check out the timing? I need the tires rotated.
Yeah. Okay, I think we should veer this back to role playing. Is this turning into tavern chat?
No, you're right. So in any case, Gangbusters is 99 cents. It says BX edition, and it's good because it isn't just a basic. It covers 6 levels.
And so the print edition's pretty cheap. Although I don't think they're offering it right now because of
hold on. The man of the hour.
The man himself.
My goodness, this thing's barely working. Okay, I'm here.
You got the wrong time zone, didn't you?
Yep.
I do it.
And I was just like, you know what? We're gonna roll. We're gonna start this because Glenn and I can banter like anybody. Glenn and I are like squad car partners at this point.
I like that, dude.
Yeah. We're squad car partners. If it's car 54, where are you?
Well, yeah, but you're playing you're playing the bigger guy, Glenn, because you're the bigger guy. I got to. I don't know if that's good though.
Well, I can do either one. Is it? Oh, Francis. What is it, Gunther? By the way, Mark, I also plugged your other game.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Tall Tales. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to get a spaghetti western out of that yet.
Oh, dude, that'll be fun. I want to see my man with no names. Well, Mark, awesome to finally get to talk with you after all these years of knowing you from the hobby, but not actually getting to interact with you directly. Of course, getting Glenn as the interface, but that works out okay.
We've shipped past in the night many a time.
Yes.
And right now, I like him. We'll do a show after North Texas to see if I still like him.
Yeah.
4 days.
Yeah, we'll find out.
We'll see if we're still friends after late June. Yeah.
I've been in the military. I can pretty much bunk with anybody, so we'll see how you can handle it.
Good.
There you go. All right. Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm just used to taking cat naps in the back of a patrol van, but that's if you can do that when you're driving the heavy jobs and you're one of 4 in the van, but you're sleeping off your late night from the night before.
Oh yeah.
It's like, do you need me to come out just to keep your head down? If nobody sees you, you can't get in trouble.
Hey,
I
Mark,
can say this because I'm 5 years retired.
Yeah, because every time I say it now.
Hey, Mark, Derek Jones says, don't forget his other game. What's your other game again?
Oh, geez. The front, the military World War II one.
Oh, the front. That's right.
Yeah, it's a hack of the black hack.
Yeah, I confuse that with the Operation White Box.
Yeah. Similar but different.
I can imagine. Well, actually, that game proved that you can actually have a World War II role-playing game. I didn't think it was possible because World War II was so big.
No, it's possible.
But it's possible to break it down into squads.
For a setting of that size, you got to work on the micro settings within it. That's the only way. And also that way you're not stuck with historical events, because you can talk about the Battle of the Bulge, but nobody knows every encounter that happens.
Well, to me, these games are smaller squads, kind of like the Dirty Dozen or something, or the Guns of Navarone, where you got these elite team working together to stop the Nazis or something.
Yeah, you put it down to squad level, fire team level, it works great. You can put it literally, they could be aboard ship, they could be in planes, you can do whatever it takes. But just once you break it down to 4 or 5 man fire teams, just have fun with it.
Yeah, get away from the brass and just go adventure. Okay, Gangbusters. Oh, what I wanted to ask, they said it's on sale for 99 cents now at drive-thru.
Yep, $1.99.
$1.99?
$1.99.
Is it $1.99? All right, I thought it said 99. Maybe.
Well, it wasn't sell for 99. I did a sell for 99 cents on St. Valentine's Day. Don't get caught in the massacre. For the sale. Yeah, and that was the 99 cent sale.
Okay.
Now, my question is, the print version are you putting it on hold because of drive-thrus, no saddle stitch?
Well, this one you can get binding. I mean, regular binding on it, the flat binding.
Oh, the perfect binding?
Yeah, perfect binding. Yes, you can get that one, the perfect binding now.
Okay, good. So you can still. What's the price on the print? It's like $5 or $15.
$4.99. $4.99. Oh wait, no, it's $4.99 for the PDF regular. Then I got it on sale for $1.99. It's like $14. So under $20, you can get a book. And that was my deal. Let's try to keep it. I figure if you can play a game for under $20, a print game, you got a good deal.
Yeah, my thing was
no, the print plus PDF is on sale right now for $10.99. That is an amazing deal.
Yep,
that's an amazing deal. And just so you know, Mark still has it for 99 cents, so you might want to get it now. Get it now for the PDF. Get it.
It's on sale, because it's on sale
before he sees it. And I was telling everybody I got a print version. I paid, and I looked at it. I go, I don't think I paid for this.
I think you did.
You gave that to me. No, it's like, yeah. Well, if I would have paid for it, I still wouldn't have. No, I paid. $15, $10, whatever. I mean, it's still whatever price it is. That's still a steal.
Wait,
it really.
Let me show you this. Let me show you this. I just got this. If you can see it. I got a little violin case. Can you see it? For a dice case now.
Oh, you
little
bastard.
Violin for a little for all my little dice. I put all my dice now.
Okay, Epi says drive-thru has offered the print plus PDF for $10.99.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh man!
Case for my dice.
First. Oh, I hate you. Well, the first year I wanted to run it, I wanted to go to a costume shop or get some of my costume people and get a gangster outfit with the violin case, and I was going to have like the book and everything else in the violin case to go run the game, but I couldn't make it. I couldn't make it happen.
I was going to do a box set in a violin case, but I couldn't find enough supplier where it brought down the prices decent enough where I didn't want to charge like $75 for just because it's in a violin case.
Right.
I want to get the price cheaper.
Yeah, I understand, but that would have been awesome. That would have been great. I even had a friend my friend says, well, I have a violin. I'll just take the violin out and you can use the case. I was like, oh man, I can't get this done.
So now, Mark, you've got the 3 games that we've talked about that you've used the either BX or the Black Hack with are all pretty much historical settings.
Yes.
Americana historical settings. World War II is admittedly worldwide, but there's an American perspective to it. Gangbusters is Prohibition era, and of course the American Wild West. So this is Americana to its core.
America.
But where did this come from? Sounds like a poor question. It probably is, but why these areas of focus? What called out to you?
Mostly because it's basically not fantasy. Fantasy is like completely super saturated. So I say, I want to do something that's not so saturated that I know what I like. So why not do something you like?
Fair enough.
Someone asked me a question that says, did you have the permission to use the title since no one? I own the trademark. I'm the full owner of it. Yes. Someone to ask that question.
I mean, I assume because this is a different entertainment thing, gaming, because I was thought, well, the guy doesn't somebody still own the name Gangbusters from the old radio show?
No, they do not.
Okay.
That was expired years ago.
That's expired.
Well, you never. I know the public domain thing, but you never know.
I worked it out with Rick Krebs. We talked about doing we talked about him wanting to do something with it, but he didn't want to do a new release a new book. He thought the rules was great fine. That's where I said. Then we talked about how a retro clone could work, and he said, "Yeah, let's do something like that." So I said, "Okay," so he gave me permission to do a retro clone, and then he loved what I did, and over the years, and then we worked it out, and I got the trademark and got permission and got everything set. So now I'm the only one that puts out stuff for Gangbusters now.
Good.
I got the original stuff I put out for, and I put out for the BX edition. So you can find both stuff, support both games online.
At North Texas, I'm going to be running a Gangbusters game. You're going to be there. No pressure.
Yes.
And next thing I know, you're going to be in my game. No pressure.
No pressure.
I want to see you running one.
Okay.
Then you can evaluate your games. I don't know. John Miller, I own a copy of Mark's Gangbusters, but haven't played it yet. The game does a brilliant job of adapting concepts from BX to 1920s Gangsterland. I actually was, before the show, I was like, I got to break out the PDF again and look at it. And I was like, damn, Mark, you did a great job. I forgot, even including basically armor class, but not based upon, somebody's wearing a bulletproof vest. No, it's based upon the clothing that you're wearing.
Yeah.
The better your clothes.
I got to tell you, Mark, until this version of Gangbusters, the concept of armor class, I finally completely understood. Gary was right, saying that armor class is not just your armor. It's the way you do your combat. It's how quick you are, how dexterous you are and stuff. And I looked at Gangbusters going, how can this be AC3 when he's just wearing a suit? And then I started thinking and going, okay. It's what he's doing in the suit.
Correct.
That matters.
Right.
So that pretty much justified armor class for that game and every other role-playing game I've been playing, every other class and level role-playing game I'm playing. I said, okay, I'll buy it. He still doesn't look like he has -1 armor class, but that's okay.
That's right. Yeah, it's a different concept. See, originally, the test bed for a lot of Gamebuster stuff was Tall Tales, the Western. Yeah. So I put that together first, and that was like the big test. And of all the stuff that was in it, the thing I thought I would get the most feedback from or pushback would be the armor class system. And a lot of people are like, this is neat. I like it. And I was kind of surprised how well people adapted to that. They understood the concept of what they were wearing versus, their armor class. And if you look at dramatically the system, I thought, okay, well, as gangsters got more and more powerful, they dressed better and better. And that, they were more and more invulnerable.
They dress better and better, and they get more bodyguards and
right.
soldiers.
Yeah,
they're more protected. They're more insulated.
The
cops are the same way. As you go up, you go up in rank, and you got more.
You got your patrol uniforms, and
you got you guys below you, and all that kind of stuff. So it's really, really, really interesting. And I totally forgot the question I was going to ask you.
Uh-oh.
Eric?
Shall we give you a moment, Glenn?
Yes. Take it, Eric. Plot armor. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, in a way, like Glenn is saying too, as you go up in authority, you're more protected. But not only as you go up in authority, you're exposed less. When you're a grunt on the street, you're out there. Whether you're a cop or you're a gangster, you're out there and you're exposed constantly. As you go up the chain of command, your actual exposure to threat is less.
Yes.
So you can interpret it that way too. It's just that your overall threat level has decreased as you've grown more powerful within your organization.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you got to look at that. And also, there's the experience. I mean, not only experience points, but just the idea of you're more experienced.
Yeah, cover concealment, you know how to move, things like that.
You know how to handle yourself in a firefight or something.
Right.
But anyway, I love this game because I can make crap up.
Just like a patrolman, first guy, a rookie on the job versus a 20-year detective, it's a night and day difference. It's a night and day difference. If you ever been on patrol and you've watched them in action, it's completely different.
Yeah,
Right.
and it isn't just the time on the street; it's the time on where you worked. If you the case of NYPD, which is my experience was, but my first year spent on the streets of the South Bronx in the 90s was worth about 5 years. If I was walking the streets of someplace in Queens, because you learn quickly because you have to learn quickly. It's you're thrown into the fire, and when we would go to details. Generally speaking, nobody wanted the Bronx cops because they figured we weren't controllable compared to cops that didn't. We want the 1-year rookies from Queens. The 1-year cops from the Bronx are already broken. They already know too much. We don't want them on our roster sheet. It was always an interesting way, and I can see that even with a game like Gangbusters. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, how are these characters? Well, how do they get so powerful so quickly? Because they're involved in stuff quickly. Yep. If you're involved in what's going on, you're going to learn more. You could be in 2 separate gangster gangs, and if your position in one is just driving the truck of bootleg material twice a week, and the other guy is shaking down people and running monies, and he's picking up the bags, or there's a difference. Somebody's going to learn quicker because they're more involved. That's right. True. Same thing goes with pretty much any other occupation. The more involved you are in the day-to-day running of it, the quicker you learn, the more part of it you are. It's not just time has a lot to do with it. But then again, you'll get the 20-year wonders where it's like, well, 20 years, and did you do 20 days on the streets? No, you could have. It's the same thing in a gang. You can have the accountant. He's a full gangster on paper, but he's never going to be the one that.
Same with the consigliere. The consigliere, he's the mouthpiece. He's the lawyer. He's not really a gangster, but he works for gangsters.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Everybody has a role to play, and in a way, that's actually covered in the Gangbuster rules, which are different. I'm going to say classes,
right?
But because they basically are.
And he's also got that whole section on how to run rackets, how to run this, how to run that. That goes back to the original Gangbusters, and it condenses very nicely, I must say. My challenge with the game is every time I run it, I try to hit a different genre within that. Within that,
you can do it. There's enough ways to run it, which is great. And especially looking back at the movies from that era, or that covers that era, and you can see. Some are told by the law enforcement perspective. Some show the gangsters as folk heroes. Some show them as the dirty pieces of shit they were.
Slum. Then you also have you can play it completely as newspaper man, investigating both sides of the story, getting caught in the middle. Exposing both sides as being crooked.
I'm a little selfish. I don't let anybody run gangsters because I want to run the gangsters. But I let them run law enforcement and those people in the middle, like private eyes and newspaper men, and just these guys who get caught up in it, like a good film noir. But the first one I ran was a real estate heist to get a bootleg load of liquor in from Canada. The second one was a boxing melodrama. That was a lot of fun. Ring of Fire. Then I got one based in a radio station. And probably the next one I'm going to do is going to be in a beer garden, which is Tenkar's Beer Garden.
Okay.
There you go.
I wrote that up for Rock Junction. Just outside of Rock Junction, there's a roadhouse next to a beer garden. And you run the roadhouse, Race runs the beer garden.
Oh, nice.
Okay. There you go.
And I'm going to see what I can do with that.
The one I did up at GaryCon, it's called One Last Job. And you play the Joker, the Penguin,
Right.
Two-Face. You play all the bad guys, but
All the Batman.
and you're all Batman villains, and you're trying to pull one last job together. And of course, you run across Dick Tracy and all the bad,
Oh, wow.
all the opposite people. And it is hilarious because they get each other's way because each one, of course, is greedy and want all the gold. And they each, just hilarity ensues. It's a great game.
I also know this game is very not genre focused, but I like that one page at the beginning where you say, what kind of game do you want to run?
Right.
And it's kind of like, it's almost like you have to do that, but you don't, but you have to, because the original Gangbusters had this problem before. If you have two guys playing gangsters, one playing a policeman, one playing a newspaper reporter, one playing a grocer, how do you get them together to work on this plot you have? I've found that, first of all, I keep it on law enforcement and regular people. Secondly, they tend to fall into pairs. These two guys go off doing this thing, then do go off doing this thing, and I did one based on moonshiners that they just sort of fell into pairs, and then they got together and compared notes, and then they went off again. And I know, folks, don't split the party, but that's the way this game works.
This game is designed for that. You could do it easily with this game.
Yeah, but I found, until I figured that out, I found it really hard to run because I had to keep track of too many people at once. But if you do it that way, it makes it easier. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's better if you can sit down and say, okay, we're going to run, you can be a bad guy, whatever, but you're all part of this law firm. You can be a gangster, but you're part of this law firm. You're undercover, a crook, you're doing this other stuff, but that's who you are. So the story's going to tell this way, and then you just do you.
All great literary stories, TV shows, movies were all based around a central premise. For instance, when I run Mutant Future, all the characters work for this one mutant bear who runs a trading post and sends them out to go find stuff. That's a single premise where they can be anything they want, but they work for this one guy. It's the same thing with Gangbusters. But Gangbusters, like say you got two reporters, two lawmen, two gangsters over here. They both work with a different boss, basically. But if you can find a common thread there for them to work together, that's the hard part, finding the common thread.
Well, just put the two guys in the cover.
Right. Yeah. There you go. Put the two cops undercover in the gang with the gangs, and the reporters are naturally going to follow the police anywhere they go.
Right.
So I never worry about the reporters because they're always looking for the story. And that's also partly why I start every game in Joe's Diner.
Joe's Diner, that's what it's designed to be. It's the tavern. It's literally designed to be the tavern. We meet at the tavern, we go to Joe's Diner. It's right there.
It's always, it's the morning, the cops are there drinking their coffee. These guys are over here getting ready to go to the office and stuff happens, Right. I mean, that's how my my Moonshiner game started with what's his name, the janitor.
Oh, yeah.
Running into Joe and saying, "Hey, I found a truck with a dead body in it.
Yeah.
Anybody want to come look?"
Well, if you look how I got it set up, there's like a crap game that comes every once a week with the train comes around back. Then you got like the cop who comes on foot patrol there.
I love that train game. I love that train casino.
Yeah, you like that one? Yeah.
I had the female reporter go undercover as a waitress there. I had a ball with that. And, he's always in the back, living in the back. And, they found 2 dead bodies in boxcars and stuff. And, I'm just trying to get rid of the purple gang. That's all. No.
Right. Well,
actually,
you got the driver.
Yeah.
You got the driver down the road, all that.
Yeah. And the green warehouse.
The green house.
I've got the one constant I always have is the Black Hand is always trying to figure out a way to get away from the purple gang as far as like booze supply. So I've had like 2 or 3 games where they find a place to put a still, like at the end of the boxing one, they put the still in the sewer. That kind of thing. And they got busted there. So they're always trying to get away from being beholden to the purple gang for their supply. They're always trying to sneak it in somewhere else. That's why they had the moonshiners.
Well, if you look at like Joe's Diner, there's the guy that's selling plots of land for houses. You can use that too. That's a whole nother one.
That was the first dead body they found.
Oh, they got rid of him?
Yep. This guy was trying to scam people for land. They said, come down and look. And the Black Hand found it out because he was using a plot of land that a farmer had with a big barn, which they were using to get shipments of booze in. And people were poking around. So they put their hitman on him and they found him dead. I mean, he had one of his signs, buy this lot of land. Da, 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 da. They found him dead on the ground, impaled on that sign.
That's good. Like I said,
anyway,
lots and lots of plot hooks in there. Yeah. If you look at there, the other waitress, her husband got killed in the raid. Now she's against the cops, and she's like trying to. She's on the other side. The other one's for him. It's like everyone's got an angle. That whole place is full of literally plot hooks. Oh.
And I had that game. It was a 2-parter because they also had to find out what happened to the Dutchman, who was the hitman for the. I mean, he's a wild card, and he was like 2-time in this abroad and all this. It ended up with him and her in the mines.
Oh, okay.
The mine area outside.
The mine area.
You shoot out with the cops outside, and it was great. It was so much fun.
We use like old coal mines or the sewers, so you can use your old D&D maps.
Yeah.
Just bring out the old D&D map, and you got your little underground sewers. They got to clear that out. Bingo.
Yeah. See,
go ahead.
The what is it? Central City.
Rock Junction. Rock Junction is right down the Lakefront City.
Lakefront City is all kind, but I have more fun with Rock Junction because it's more undeveloped. I can actually, ad lib stuff there, which is nice.
I use this. It's where people understand it. It's okay. Lakefront City, Chicago.
Right.
Rock Junction is Gary, Indiana.
Okay. I was thinking more like Detroit.
One's in Steel Town. Other ones are, it's closer. It's like if you want to put it like American cities, that's how you can put it. How close they are. They're close enough where you can get to it, but far enough to be separate. And that's why it's a big steel town.
So it's like Kansas City.
Right. Yeah. Kansas, yeah.
Okay. Well, first thing I thought it was Detroit, but yeah. Which one? North Dakota, you said?
No, it's in Gary, Indiana.
Gary, Indiana. Yeah. Okay, I can buy that. It's funny. This game taught me a little geography too, because when I did the Moonshine game, it says, okay, let's see. They're going to co-op Moonshine to get into Lakefront City. So how far is Kentucky? Okay, Kentucky's the first. Okay, Kentucky, an hour away. That's good because it's always like, how long is it going to? I had a real time element thing going there.
Well, they're close up to like Templeton, Iowa, where they used to Templeton liquor. That's what they use for smuggle up in town. It's close enough between you have to go through there to get to the big city. So it's close enough where between Detroit, you got to go through Rock Junction to get to the Lakefront City, and it's closer to the lake. I try to put something where you can use the old game have the big city. Everyone knows about that. So I wanted something new. So I said, okay, Rock Junction will be the new spot. And we'll build it up and we'll add stuff to it so you can go back and forth. You can use the old modules, convert them over, or you can just use the new stuff. It's up to you.
Right. Well, this game is just, I don't know. I like the modules and all that kind of stuff, but this one, it just lights my fire as far as creating original stuff.
Well, it's the genre. I mean, it not only is it pure Americana, but I mean, and even in my case, I have a link to this era. My great grandparents ran a speakeasy, a block and a half from where I live.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, they were old Germans, and I still remember my great grandmother. I must have been like 7, and she showed me the dumbwaiter because she still lived in the building, but there was a drugstore when I was a kid, and she was telling me that they used to have the bar downstairs, and what would happen is that when one place got raided, they would call all the other speakeasies and say, the revenuers who came by, you might be coming up next. So all the alcohol went into the dumbwaiter, brought up to the apartment, and then the apartment sent down tea and coffee. So then when the revenuers came,
the tea man.
But yeah, and then the other thing that she told me was, and these are words of wisdom that stuck with me even when I became a cop, but for just totally different reasons. It was just ironic. She's like, you can always trust the cop or the police officer because he will take the bag. But the firemen come in, they leave with your silverware and their boots. Words of wisdom she imparted upon a 7-year-old.
Wow.
My Italian grandfather lived in Illinois, and he told me a few things about neighbors who were making bathtub gin at that time in the apartment building. So yeah, I got a little bit of that from my family too.
Yeah.
And the funny about the dumbwaiter thing was that I planned Tenkar's Beer Garden and Roadhouse to serve root beer when the coast was not clear.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Right.
No, beer, root beer. Yeah. Okay, but
so John Miller, also worth noting about Mark's Gangbusters, great use of art from the period, really helps set the mood, arguably better than a newly commissioned art would.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thanks. Yeah.
Because I did some artwork for him. Hey.
See, so that means that you were so atmospheric. People did not. It fit. Yeah,
it fit. It fit.
Yeah, it really did. And it also, I don't really need to look around this office to see any kind of research I could do. I've got tons of movies.
Tons of it.
Plus over there, I've got the complete series, The Untouchables, with Robert Stack to draw on. I was so surprised. I learned that like Capone had little mini breweries around town that he hid.
Yeah. A lot of them, a lot of apartments in the poor side of town.
Yeah.
They would pay people's rent, literally pay their rent, just the whole stuff, and do brew it there.
There'd be abandoned building over there, and they'd set up shop, and until the cops came. I didn't realize. I thought it was all from like Canada or some big brewery that they found. So hey Gage. A what? Oh, earbuds right here. Say hi.
Dun, dun.
No, say hi. You're on Facebook right there.
Yeah. Say hi to your future roommate.
Yeah. Say hi to your future roommate. Yeah.
Roommate. Yeah. One thing that's good, like for instance, when I used the BX edition, they're like, why'd you do that? Well, I wanted people to use the 40 years of material that's out there.
Right.
There's 40 years of material you can draw from.
Yeah.
Why reinvent the wheel? It's there. Let's use it. Pick up, convert. Like for instance, you could use some of the old modules. Just file up the serial numbers and poof, you've got a whole nother adventure. Like for instance, instead of them dinosaur planet, well, they crash when they're trying to smuggle something. And instead of dinosaurs, maybe it's lions or tigers, whatever's on the island. Turn it to that. Just have fun with it.
What else you can use? There's a lot of other pulp games out there. I have a few pulp modules that would easily turn into a Gangbusters module.
Right.
Easily.
And you can even do light pulp because I even have a page where you can have some kind of light, mysterious power. So you can introduce that if you want to play like the Shadow in this world, because that fits the same genre, except for now you just, you got the Rocket Man, the Shadow. You can use that same thing.
Rocketeer,
just
all
as
that
easy.
kind of stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, do the old movie serials.
Yep.
Like not Flash Gordon so much, but like Jungle Gym and all that kind of stuff.
No, but you can do like Asian 8, Spy Busters. You can do all that kind of stuff like that.
The Spider, the mysterious, the Men of Mystery.
Been a mystery.
Shadow, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, you could use that. See, folks, this is a concentrated effort. We had Mark Hunt on the show. It's a concentrated effort to get him to do the advanced book.
If you see all the files I have here, I just got to put them all together, make sure they work, and then, get them out, clean them up and fix them and take out half the junk that's in there, and then they'll be ready to go.
Yeah. Well, I'm pulling for you. Let me put it that way.
Well, Mark, I'm going to ask you a question then. You maxed out at level 6 for this.
Yep.
5.
And
5. It's going to go to 14.
Right. Okay. I thought it was level 6. I don't know. I had the PDF open. Yeah. All right. So I read it wrong. But the original basic book went to 3. Expert went to what? 14.
Yeah, 14.
So what? I mean, I know why I think in things like D&D and AD&D that level 6, 7, maybe 8 is a sweet spot. But what made you settle on level 6?
Because it's the halfway point between 14. I figure just under half, and it's the sweet spot, just enough to get you going. That way I got some so-called time.
Yeah, you're right. It is 6. I was wrong. Yeah. Sorry.
It's like the halfway point where you go.
I'm only half as crazy as I look. Hold on, let me get the artwork back up.
We're working on the other half.
Well, no, that's good. Okay, all right. Damn it. Why won't you? You're supposed to do that like that, and then like that. See, it takes there. See, I don't know why I can even do this now because I got my second screen hooked up. There's only one screen. You really couldn't share a screen.
I'm so glad.
All you'd see is my fat head twice.
I'm so glad this game came along because my NPCs got a lot more interesting. I mean, I played D&D for a long time, but you get tired of the old, these and thous and English, British, all this other fantasy stuff. And now I can play guys with noses like this and voices like this and, that kind of stuff. I'm the cast. Grit.
I mean, here's the thing. You just don't have to do a Midwest America. You can also go ahead and you can put it in, like, for instance, Australia, where they're in the area known as Razorhurst, where the 2 women ran the whole place. They use razors. So you can put it in Australia during this time. You can put it in Hong Kong, Big Trouble in Little China. During when the British was running there, you could have the American embassy and have them fighting the Tongs and all those guys right there. You can do that also.
Put it in England with the Crays. With the Crays.
Peaky Blinders, you can do this.
Yeah.
Oh.
So this is a very, very versatile way to do it.
Yeah.
And it's almost a modern, I don't want to say a modernization of BX, but damn close. And yes, I've heard.
Go ahead. I was just saying that it strips BX down to its core and then builds it back. That's how I saw it. It's like, what is the essence of BX? Let's get that essence and then let's rebuild it into something that will emulate the setting that we're looking for, as opposed to trying to cram BX as it is into the setting. And
now he's done
a great job doing it.
Yeah. I almost want you to turn out a game BX naked. And then
I have the file.
because you've done it 3 times. So it's 3 different genres. So that's
naked basic. Naked basic.
I have all the stripped down files. I got all the, because I use it. Like I said, I created Tall Tales. That was my very first explore how I want to do it, because I want to test out the gun rules, the Western. If I could do it in the Western, I could move it a few years into Gangbusters. So you literally could start in the 1880s and have a character go all the way to the 1920s, and just quote unquote change systems as you go, playing, move the game along. Because if you look at some of those guys who are still around, they were still around in the 1930s.
Right.
Look, Bert, you can run across a lot of gangsters, old cowboys in gangster movies. They were there.
You're right. But what's that movie, Last Man Standing, which is basically a fistful of dollars in the 30s?
Yep.
And John mentions a game called Grit and Vigor. I think that would work well with this. I've heard of it. I haven't seen it, but I hear it's a good game. Now, he also is great with creepy cults and sorcerers using D&D, cops and PIs versus chaos cultists, black man. Yeah, you could do that. My concern when Mark was doing this was always, let's not go too deep into this. Let's get it period flavor type with the mystics, with the turbans, with the jewels,
Correct.
and the men of mystery. But let's not go full like Cthulhu.
Yeah, no way, shape, or form did I want that in my game. I did not, nothing part of Cthulhu whatsoever anywhere near touching this game. Because one, they have a great game over there, and this is not it. You know, we're not Cthulhu. You want to run Cthulhu? Go play Cthulhu. It's a great game. Go play it. You want to run Gangsters? Here we go. I got you here. You know,
I think you'd agree with me that the Cthulhu mythos has been overdone.
Oh yeah, it's saturated.
Not only Call of Cthulhu, but you got all these other role-playing games who have like a Cthulhu supplement or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
And I just didn't want it to become another, Well,
if you look at my monsters in the thing, there's none of that stuff in there, and it's so easy. Well, we could mix it with Cthulhu. To me, that's like low-hanging fruit. That's like saying, okay, I'm going to make a gangster movie, but it's going to be zombies. Well, gee, that's The Walking Dead. Thanks. That's so.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like I can't think of nothing else. So I'm gonna throw Cthulhu in it.
But you touch on it so lightly, which is nice because it just gives it that flavor.
Yeah.
Just gives it that flavor. You got these guys running around who are fakers. They could be real. They could be not. Yep. And Shandu. You could do Shandu type of thing.
During this period, during the 1920s, right afterward, there was a lot of fakers and a lot of real people. If you look around, they were like people are still grieving from the war, and people were taking advantage of them.
Yeah, they were getting into the like astrology and supernatural stuff and seances and talking with the dead and all that kind of stuff.
That was huge during this time. So why not, have something in there?
Which I think would make a great plot for a guy who's a total fake and he gets involved in these mysteries. What's that show, Psych?
Yeah.
Where the guy wasn't really a psychic. He was just so good at figuring things out and observing things that he made it seem like it was psychic. You could do that in a 20s or 30s setting where the guy with the crystal ball there, blah, 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 blah. He's just really, really good at figuring things out.
Yeah, well, most of the psychics were good at asking general questions that will give them little bits of information on what's going on. Just like even you putting your hands on the table, you could tell whether you were somebody that was a worker, whether your hands were dirty and clean, had your nails clipped. They were very good at reading people. That was part of the secret.
See, this game, to me, kind of lives or dies on the NPCs. I mean, the locations are nice and all the other trappings, but the NPCs could really shine in this game.
Connections and NPCs.
Yeah. I mean, I've already got a list of connections that people can use. My favorite one I stole from Peter Gunn. They had as a guest star, he was a supporting character, Billy Barty, if you remember him.
Oh, okay.
Billy Barty as a pool shark that would drag a wooden box around the pool table so he could stand up and do his shots. And he would just shark these guys and he'd give Peter information every once in a while. So that's a good character right there, Well,
if you look at all the detective and police stuff over the years, all the shows, there's no way you should ever run out of ideas for an adventure.
Right.
Come on. Look at the Hill Street Blues. You could just literally run a whole campaign out of precinct, give it a precinct number, and run Hill Street Blues. They never know the difference.
Yep. I get a lot of my information off the radio. I listen to old time radio. Stuff like Johnny Dollar, Broadway is my beat, Dragnet, and stuff like that. I listen to those shows and it's like, wow, there's a plot right there. Cool, I'm going to steal that, And the nice thing about radio shows is you listen to them, you don't see them, so you can actually think in your head how this is working.
Right. But now, if you really want to like keep it authentic, you can watch on like Netflix, Amazon Prime.
Oh yeah.
Do a little look into documentaries. I mean, me and Rach for like, of course, like 2 weeks, all we were doing was binge watching the gangster documentaries, whether it was Chicago, New York, Boston, and you can get literally get characters, get the names, and get a little. You could, if you wrote half a paragraph on Lucky Luciano and a few others, and you throw them into your Gangbusters game, suddenly they're not just Joe Schmo. Your players are going to go, oh, Lucky Luciano, I know that name. I mean, it actually means something. Oh, they're involved. You know, and odds are they're not going to know what you just learned from watching the documentary, but it's a fictional world anyway.
Right. Yeah.
You know, play with it. But you want enough to hook them in, and you can hook them in more effectively doing that than you'll ever be able to do in a D&D campaign.
Yeah,
because you're working upon our common social memory as Americans. Again, gangsters were romanticized for a long part. A lot of them, because they weren't stupid. They understood. You give a little bit of money to charity, it goes a long way in turning the masses in your favor. You know, they learned that back in the old country in Italy.
Yeah.
You know,
look at Dillinger.
Dillinger,
he perfected it. That's how he could hide so well. Everyone he was like the people's hero, so they was cheering him on. They were glad to be,
And boy,
you could literally. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and boy, did Capone just turn out the soup kitchens.
Yep.
Yeah.
During the Depression,
Like, well, look at "Oh Brother Thou, Where Art Thou?" You can turn that into a whole campaign by itself.
Well, that was that was the Odyssey.
It's the Odyssey. Yeah, it really was. Yeah. If you look at, there's so many things that you can do. It's like there's no reason you should ever I can't come up with nothing. Did you watch the news last night? There's something on the news you can use. There's always something.
Yeah, if you look into current governmental corruption on any local level, multiply what we have now that you see in the news by a factor of 10, if not higher, and that's probably how the corruption was. I mean,
half of the corruption.
Yeah, people listen. You look at places like New York City. New York City had Tammany Hall back in the 1800s. But you know what? That corruption didn't stop during Prohibition. It just became more systemic and more
diversified. They diversified.
Honestly, in New York City during Prohibition, if you were a cop that wasn't on the take, you certainly weren't going to turn anybody in that was on the take.
Yeah, you ain't going to do that
because I'll be honest with you, the prosecutors didn't want to know. The district attorney didn't want to know. Because on every level, somebody was getting paid off. And that was part of society at that point. And people kind of expected it. Right. There was a different type of justice that happened amongst organized crime than could be expected when it was, some two-bit crook that just wound up shooting a store clerk.
Right.
Crime, homicides between, different gangs.
That was how
cops
it was.
Didn't care.
Yeah, it was how it was. Yeah. It's like, hey, sucks to be him. Oh, well.
Yeah. So they weren't going to waste much time investigating that stuff.
Yeah. So tell me, Mark,
yes,
what do you got coming up besides the expert book? I mean, what else do you got coming up?
Oh, geez. I got one. It's on a slow slide back burner. It's a space game. I'm working on that. I want to keep it hush because it's not. I've been working on this game off and on for probably 3 years. It's just not quite there yet. I just can't get it there. It's almost like Space 1999, but it's not. It's different. It's just I want to do like a 1950s sci-fi BX kind of thing, but I don't want it to be. Like I said, it's not quite right for me to release it yet. It's just That's my biggest hold up. So I've been working on that for a time.
Sci-fi.
Yeah.
I have a book to recommend to you if you haven't heard of it already. You're familiar with GURPS, of course.
Of course, yeah.
If you can find the supplement GURPS Atomic Horror.
Oh, yes, I have it.
Yes, that's an excellent source book for that kind of stuff.
Yes, it is. Yes,
excellent.
It is.
So cheesy and so wonderful.
Yeah, that's what I want. The cheese, I want the cheese factor to be there, but authentic enough for it to work, but not overpower it.
Right.
You know?
Right. Well, I think with Gangbusters, I think you took a step in the right direction for that. That gives you kind of an idea of what the mood you're trying to set for the genre. And I'm thinking, like, remember I said I wanted to take Tall Tales and make a spaghetti Western. I'm trying to do it with any Western game. And I'm starting to realize it's more the mood than anything else.
Yeah. Tall Tales is designed where there's no magic. It's literally almost a pure Western.
Straight Western.
It's just straight Western, right down the middle. You can add all that stuff to it because it's BX. If you want magic, just take the BX magic system, plug it right in. It will work without no modification. You just, you're ready to go.
I had a friend.
You want to run across the Wendigo? Take a monster. Boom, there you go. You want Bigfoot? Take it, an owl bear. Now it's Bigfoot. Run it, turn it loose. You can do that.
The owl bear is Bigfoot. That's amusing to me.
I mean, you can just do that. I mean, they don't know the name. Change the name of the stat box. They don't know the difference.
You're right.
Players don't know the difference.
You're right. I mean, I'm stolen monsters from other games before like that, calling them like some kind of weird planetary monster. If I'm doing sci-fi or something, the post-apocalyptic is great for that because you can tweak it so many ways and they'll never recognize it.
It's true.
Never. But anyway, we're talking Gangbusters here. What am I?
We're talking.
We're talking Gangbusters. Folks, even if you're not looking to run something in the setting, just for listen, we've all played, or most of us from our generation have played White Plume Mountain, and we know what happens when artifacts get added. I say artifacts. We're talking about items that are technologically so advanced that they're magical in nature. That would be basic firearms, and you get some excellent firearms rules that are not highly complicated, easy to use, and you can just slot them into your OSR game without much issue.
John's asking about your
1950s space opera.
That's the goal.
Flash.
But they have the Flash Gordon game. You can welcome to go play that. But I want to do something different, close, similar, but different.
Forbidden Planet.
That's my favorite. I love Forbidden Planet. That's great. It's kind of like what I'm going for, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I was actually rewatching it for the first time in years around Christmas time. I was like, oh my God, this actually holds up. I forgot that it holds up. I didn't think it would. And it's like, once you got past the sets, the story holds up. The sets don't hold up, but they don't need to.
But if you look at it, it's Star Trek literally uses that whole formula.
Yeah.
Right. If you look at it, the Star Trek uses the Forbidden Planet formula to run the series. The original series is Forbidden Planet. Just a new planet, run trouble, the monster, the girl, save the day, move on. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah. I've got a whole, if you want, I got a whole slew of crappy sci-fi films you can watch. I buy those
probably already
packs, and it's like, oh, what's this? Tale of the Wendigo. Oh, is this a dog? Man, it'd be a great. It's always like, this is a terrible movie. Make a great role playing game. It's incredible. But it's incredible where you can get influences from.
Like I have all the Time Life books for Westerns. I have that's what I've always watched tons and tons of Westerns. It's like a 36 volume set. So I got plenty. I could have literally wrote Tall Tales to be like 400 pages if I really wanted to. I got every detail you want to know about a Western. I could have threw in there. But why?
Yeah.
Why? Westerns. Why do I have to explain to you and make you pay for something you already know? You know Westerns. Here's 60 pages. Go play Western. Have fun.
Yeah. What I like about what reason I'm pushing spaghetti westerns is because they take the basic Western and then they go and they put stuff like a guy who has a banjo that's actually a rifle. You know, stuff like it's not really weird, but it's just a little off. And that's what I love about the spaghetti westerns because they play with the tropes. They really do.
Well, look how I did the potions for the snake oil salesman. If you look at that, those are basically potions and magic spells.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
each one's a different one. That
Night Owl Games did the same thing when they made Warriors of the Red Planet, which was basically a John Carter RPG based on White Box. And I looked at the gadgets and gizmos for the science guys, the man inventors, gadgeteers, and I look and I go, okay, that's a D&D spell, that's a D&D spell, that's a D&D spell. It's just in a gadget.
Just in a gadget.
I laid it right into my D&D game, saying this guy is a mad scientist. He's going to give you this stuff because they didn't have it. They had no magic. They had no mages. They had one cleric, no mages. So he says, all right, you guys are going to field test this stuff for me. So they had this one thing that was basically a web spell with a bunch of goop. Another thing that was, and you powered it with like magic stones. And it had gauntlets of ogre strength, but you got to put a magic stone in each one. And it lasts for like, an hour or something. And it's like, okay, that worked perfectly. I didn't even have to do anything. I just printed it out and gave it to him. Okay, you have this, this, this. It was great. Fantastic.
Here's another thing. If you look at the roughing up table, and
yes, I love that. It's like instead of turning undead, we're roughing people up.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
It
all works, man.
Oh man!
But like I said, that was you, in my opinion, taking basic expert rules and distilling them down and then rebuilding them.
Yeah, I was looking at how can I use this? I like this rule, but I got to figure out how can I use this.
You are a genius. I've got to say, you're kind of a genius at that. I know other people can probably do it, but you do. You give it some finesse. You give it. You make it kind of elegant. And I like that. If it's elegant and it's easy to understand, I'll go a long way with that game.
Elegant and OSR just seems so oxymoron to me.
I tried to keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Simple, yes. There you go.
Keep it simple, stupid. The KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. Just here's the rule. How can I break it down to where you can know it and not have to look it up?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's and I appreciate that. Listen. I'm the jackass that said, how can I take swords and wizardry and knock it down to 4 pages?
You did a great job at that.
Thank you. But that was the, I'm retired. I got to do something with my life. And it's like, oh, man, I'm stupid for volunteering for this project.
I'm retired. I got to do something.
Yeah.
By the way, he came out with Swords and Wizardry Continual Light, which takes up to level 14. Then
level 7.
7. I'm sorry.
Dude.
Then somebody took that and made a Western out of it.
Yeah.
No. Well, yeah.
6 guns and wagons. 6 guns and wagons.
They, like Mark understands, some people think, it's easy to take a game and distill it down to its basic concepts. And it isn't.
It's not.
Because as you distill it, you start going, if I'm taking this out, what falls apart as I'm taking something out? And it isn't as easy as, and part of the process literally is taking a pen through maybe the original like white box rules and crossing out pages and paragraphs and sentences. But that's just to see the actual, get rid of the fluff and saying what part of this is the actual rules. And then you go, which part of this do I need to make a rule set? Now, I think that Swords and Wizardry Light, as written, is a great base for other people to rip off of and build up, because it is still, and they've done it because the distilling is already done. Right. But Mark distilled and then built up for now. We haven't seen Mark's distillation yet. I'm looking forward to seeing it when you finally put out the basic BX.
Basic.
Yeah, basic. But no, seriously, because I have a great appreciation for anybody that can take rules and bring them down. When they took the DCC RPG rules and wanted to bring it down to a starter rule set, which is different than a quick start. Starter rules gives you more than one level.
Right.
I think came in at what, 64 pages still? Because
it's beautiful.
But you can't break it down, and there's only so much you can break down DCC before you can only distill it down to a certain batch. Whereas the original OSR games can be greatly distilled. Like if you look at Gangbusters, I'm gonna hazard a guess that pure rules is somewhere between 8 and 10 pages, and everything else is the instructions or the ideas or the concepts on how to run something in this genre. Mm-hmm. But for something like Gangbusters, unless somebody is already immersed in the setting or the Americana, you need that help. You can't just here's 10 pages, run. Because people are going to go, what the fuck is this? Yeah, I can't do this. You can do that with a fantasy RPG because we've been playing that for 40 years.
Right.
You know, we already have those concepts built into it. So, but again, I reading Gangbusters, I can see the distillation that happened, and I can see the rebuilding. And again, I'm not going to call myself a game designer because I'm not. Maybe I'm a game distiller. No, maybe a game distiller, but I can see the distillation, and I can see the design and rebuilding, and it's a wonderful job.
It is a wonderful. Hey, I wanted to ask Mark, what did Rick Krebs think of this?
Oh, he loved it. He loved it. He was really surprised. He was like, "Thanks, keep it. I can't wait to see what you did." I have his email somewhere. He's like, "I can't wait to see what you're going to come up with next." You know, when I first did the very first one I put out there, he was great. He did my first review of the product. Yeah, he went online. He did the first review of it.
I'll have to find that.
Yeah, it's on there.
I'm gonna try it, Rick Krebs.
Well, like for instance, here's a perfect example. Like when I first put it out there, I got out there. Then, of course, someone said I'm stealing the game. So it went on Drive Through RPG. Then that got taken down. Then I had to go through that hoops. Then it was Drive Through RPG, me, Wizards of the Coast. So everyone had to talk. Who was doing what and what's where. And then Wizards of the Coast was like, well, we got no skin in the game, so we're out.
Good.
Then
once they're out, then that's
and then it was like, okay. Then I showed them like, no, I'm not stealing it. Here's the approval from the original author. Here's my paperwork. Here's my trademark. Here's all my stuff. They're like, oh, okay, well, have at it. What do you want to put up next? And stuff out.
You kind of had to juggle a few balls here. Like you had Gangbusters IP from Rick, plus you had the OSR or the OGL, which you had to like make sure everybody's happy with this. Okay, let's go forward type thing.
Yeah, it was it was different. Well, I'm keeping my IP separate enough where I have to defend that IP versus their product versus the concept of where it comes from. I have to balance all three of those out.
Right.
Right. Now, who owns the copyright to the original material reverted back to the author, or
yes, it reverted back to the author.
Okay, now I got you. I can see why Wizards of the Coast got notified and then said, "Oh, I looked in our files, and we don't got shit. This isn't ours anymore."
Yeah, it's not like how they couldn't do Gamma World because that was separate IP, but it was more like, well, the guy gave me permission. Okay, fine. Then they went ahead. Yeah. I feel sorry for you. Having to go through that all the crap.
After putting all this time, and then I was like, "Why'd you put something?" Well, I had to wait through different stuff to clear. I'm like, okay, well, I need to wait for this to clear. I have to wait for background. I have to wait for checking through lawyers. I have to go. I can't just put it out. I have to put stuff out for the initial so I can start the ball rolling. But then I can't just put all the stuff out because I don't want to put myself in legal enough jeopardy. Might have to surrender all those funds. Then all of a sudden, okay, all the stuff I made plus what I paid for is gone. I don't want to do all that. So I had to wait and put stuff off, and it was interesting time. It was an interesting time, to put it that way.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm really looking forward to that 50s sci-fi game.
Well, I got to put out
a lot of fun.
I'm going to do the experts first. The expert book is coming out first. That's updated, revised. Then that's going to come out, and then the 50s game. Even though I could probably put out the 50s game a lot faster if I keep it just as basic.
Yeah, and I like to see the expert out first anyway. Yeah, because that kind of game is like it tests my limits of improvisation. Because the way I draw up a game like that would be I do the William Castle method. I come up with a really cheesy title and then fit a game to it.
Okay.
I get some of my best games that way. The monster out of the toilet, and that's okay. How are we going to use the monster coming out of the toilet? That's going to be the climax. Now let's build up to that. Yeah.
If the monster coming out of the toilet is the climax, I don't even know how we got there. I don't know how we got there.
You've seen that movie. You've seen that movie Matinee, right?
Oh yes.
With John Goodman, Gallagher. Yeah, there we go. That's the way. It sounds good.
Let's run.
Great time. What do we get? You got a script? No, but we got a poster.
Right. Like, give me a perfect example for like hit points and stuff like that. People are like, well, they're gonna have all these hit points. Well, you could do it 2 ways. Like a listen. Okay, whatever your constitution score is, that's your hit points.
That's a good one.
That's it. You want to keep it simple? You want guns to be super scary? Yep. Whatever your con score is, you don't get no more hit points. Your skill goes up. You can shoot people easier. You can dodge easier. Saving throws go up. Hit points? Nope. You got your constitution score plus whatever the bonus is. Say if you have an 18 plus 3.
Why you
21.
do that? They do that in Gamble World and Mutant Future. Well, yeah, there's a reason, because in Mutant Future and Gamble World, every point of constitution is a hit point die.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're getting like 150 hit points. You ain't getting no more. Yeah. You got 150 hit points. You don't need no more.
Well, that's true.
It's crazy.
That confused me about the Gamma World. The initial Gamma World was like, wait a second. So going up a level doesn't give you more hit points? I'm confused. But now, if you were going to use the Constitution for hit points, then I would actually say, those hit dice that you have from your character profession, that would be like your once a week healing roll. So you could roll that once a week to say you really weren't that badly damaged. So it kind of gives you, you got shot. Yeah, it only winged me. Your arm off. Nah, it was only a wing. Whereas the bookworm will still be like, you had good hit points, but he's not going to heal that quickly because he's the bookworm.
Yeah, he's going to be in the he's going to be in the hospital.
He D4. Yeah, he has the D4 for hit points. Right. So he's not going to get much back. Whereas the brutes, the grunts, they'll get it back quicker. That actually might be a fun way to run it. I'm like, look at that. Brainstorming right here live. Right here.
Brainstorm. Yeah.
Well, just like I have like the shot in the arm effect, like the option rules for getting shot in the arm. That was a typical one. Okay, you winged them, or like in the Tall Tales, you get your hat knocked off, shot off, like a free hit point, basically. You get shot. Instead of taking damage, you lose your hat, which lowers your armor class.
There you go.
Okay. I always thought one of the funniest things I saw in the basic rules was the one where you give, I think it's extra armor class for wearing a nice suit. I said, okay, I'll buy it. I still think it's hilarious, but I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Tune in next week, folks, when the 3 of us rework Traveler.
Well, if I'm going to kill you, I might want that suit, man. I got to loot the bodies. You're still thinking D&D terms, right?
Yeah, they would. They would.
My players would. It's like, all right, we killed him. What kind of suit are you wearing? Dude, you put 2 bullet holes in it. Can I get a good tailor to blood stain? Would bleach work? I mean, they had bleach back then, right?
Be like, instead of leave the gun, take the tux instead of take the canoe. do something simple like that.
Oh my God.
Leave the gun, take the tux. Let's go.
Oh my God.
Oh, we found him, officer. He was just in his boxers and socks.
Yes. Well, we always got to take the boots because you know how expensive.
We got a weird crime spree going.
Oh yeah.
I think they're trying to embarrass.
We got
them.
a weird crime scene going on here.
All the gangsters in ill-fitting suits.
Yeah. Second time they stripped down. Yeah. You can see the headlines. Second murder of the stripped down killer. In the paper. Police baffled. He leaves bodies and take suits.
Everything was a headshot. We don't know why.
I don't know why.
The killer Taylor. Yeah. Oh man, don't think this isn't going to turn up in one of my gangbusters.
Yeah, come on. Hold on a second. Let me check it. Yeah, let me measure your shoulders. What do you do? Just get a check. Let me check your instinct.
Gangster carries a tape.
He's the one. He's the one.
He's the one. Shoot him first.
Gangster carries around a Taylor's tape measure.
Come on.
What are you? Yeah. What are you, an undertaker? No, I'm a tailor.
Yeah.
Taylor, I got my piece of chalk because we got to take the inside over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see a game doing that.
Instead of I hear you pat houses, it's I hear you alter suits.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
See, there's a reason why the three of us are not in a game session together.
Oh,
because I think the GM would just go, yeah, "Fuck this, I'm done. Walking away. I can't handle you three."
Wait till June, Tenkar.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I won't be.
Yeah, the three of us are going to be at a table.
Well, just think about this. Look at John Wick when he goes to get outfitted for his suit. He's going to go to battle. It was his armor class. Get his armor class adjusted. Yeah. And he gets all boom. Perfect example.
Yeah. Hey,
that's true, man.
Hey, he got killed. What happened? They made the pants too long.
Yep, pants too long.
Told not to wear tight.
Told not to wear spats with that pair of pants. Didn't work.
Yeah. They find a corpse with an ill-fitting suit. And you find these chalk marks all over him, showing them where they could fix it.
So he could have one more armor class. Look at that. Look at that.
Look at that. You can lower the pants a couple inches.
Yeah. What was he thinking? We should have, if he tucked the cuffs in. Yeah, the lapels. It would have been at least better AC by 2.
If you get it steam cleaned by a tailor once a week, it goes up 1 armor class.
That's right. Got to stay on it.
Yeah.
Keep it nice and pressed.
Yeah.
Once your suit starts looking a little wrinkly,
steam cleaners to the mafia. Yeah.
I thought you were going to do a Rodney Dangerfield there for a second. I thought you heard Rodney coming out.
Steam cleaners to the mafia. Yeah.
Yeah. No respect. No respect.
Well, if you look at the for instance, the monster section of adversaries of BX, I have all kind of craziness in there.
Oh, you do? Yes, you do.
But it fits.
I've seen it. It does fit. I think you have some kind of protester in there, maybe a communist. I don't know.
Yeah, all kinds. But they fit.
You got all sorts of. Yeah, they do fit. When I tell people, okay, you want to be this, I tell them to go look in the adversary section. Okay, what type of this do you want to be? I mean, they've got great example of a mob enforcer or a G-man or whatever you want to do. If you want to do something off the wall, you got stuff off the wall in there. An evangelist. You want to be an evangelist. I think you got one of those in there.
Yeah.
That kind of. Just look at that and, you might take some stats from that or just, get some ideas. Come on, guys.
I try to give everyone some kind of special ability quote that makes them different. That's how you can use them. Like the serial killer. He's in there. Got one of those in there.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like that's where you get the because these kids, you gotta kind of spoon feed them sometimes. I've thrown NPCs who were basically character actors from movies, and they just see him as an NPC. They have no idea who he is, and I don't care because it works.
Yeah, you're having fun with it. That's all.
Go educate yourself and come back, kid.
Hey, I'm educated. I'm educated.
I'm educated. I have so much fun with the Black Hand, though, the way I set it up with that, with Rocco and his kid brother. I have so much fun with that.
Well, did you like the undercover squad? I put it inside Rock Junction. Welcome to Rock Junction. The undercover squad I got in there.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a really nice one. In fact, when I did the Ring of Fire, the boxing melodrama, the kid who was fighting is the son of that German brewmeister from Lakefront City. Right. And I said, well, they finally shut them down, and he didn't have any place to work, so he got the Black Hand said, "Come here, you can make your beer over here." And no, he didn't like him fighting and stuff, and his girlfriend she got kidnapped and ended up in an opium den. It was so funny because the gangsters, the rival gangsters who wants him to throw the fight, kidnapped her. So the players had to go find her before the fight was over. They hide her in an opium den where the front was, I think, a cigar store. And there's all these opium, and they were in the back room with her tied up. And, and at the same time, the feds are busting in because they got a line on the opium den. They go in there, they find out the guy who runs the opium den has in a cage in the opium den a white tiger. And of course, sometime during that encounter, the tiger gets out. And exit two gangsters. They save her. And Gage, who just came in here, he played it at North Texas. He played a boxer. And, they came out to the alley, and the tiger came out to the alley, and he says, "I want to box him." What? Yeah, I want to box him. And finally, I had to put my foot on. The tiger runs away. You're not boxing a tiger. Okay?
You're going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he will do stuff like that. Some weird stuff. Yeah. I'm going to see how tough I am. I'm going to box him.
Come on, the tiger's up on two legs. Come on.
It's like I'm out of pre-gens, okay? Don't box the tiger. It's that kind of crazy. I love games with that kind of craziness. That whole opium den thing was like a last-minute scene I had to throw in because I was running short. So it's like, okay, what are they going to do? Opium den. Okay, opium den. Right. I'm sorry. Okay, go. There's a tiger in there. Go. I'm going to make the tiger. That's
If you think it basic, like in Gangbusters, it's 64 pages. The whole game is 64 pages. I wanted to keep it. I didn't want people to have to pay for. Why pay for 200 pages of fluff?
Right.
I could have, like I said, this is where the game.
Well, you can get them to pay twice for 2 books of 64 pages. Sorry, I had to do it.
I could, but at my rate, the prices are decent. I wanted to make it
right.
I didn't want no 70 book. You can easily do it. We'll be glad to pay it, but I'm old. I want you to have fun with it. You pay a little something, move on. If you're gonna play the game because you love it, not because you put $75 then sitting on the shelf. I want you to play the game.
The only game I have it's Astonishing Swordsman. Yes, I paid $70 for it, but I'm getting every penny out of it.
Yeah.
I run it. It's a great game, but at the same time, that's going to put off the average Joe $70 for a big book like that. But you got to work to sell it a little more to them. This way, you don't have to sell it as much, which is what I like. Now, did you have any? Already what?
I was gonna say, it's going like Electrum already. It's doing it. It's selling well.
Oh yeah.
It sells really well. I'm really surprised how well it's actually done. I was kind of shocked.
Well, that's good. Did you have any trouble with the drive-through when they went to Perfect Bound? Did you have to change the layout? Did you have to add pages or anything like that?
No, it was pretty straightforward.
Okay.
I set up for it, for it already.
Okay, because I've heard a lot. Yeah, I heard a lot of authors saying, "Oh, we got to change this, we got to change that now," and they're making us jump through hoops and stuff. Okay.
I think there's a lot of the smaller zines had that issue. There's a minimum page count now, which there wasn't with the Saddle Stitch.
Was it like 36 pages?
I think with Amazon's was it 24 or 20? I know Source was licensed, but some continue licensed back blank pages in the back of the POD over on Amazon.
Continue life,
yeah, because it's. I should probably just put in like graph paper in the back, but
or just put on the top notes.
Yeah,
Perfect.
true.
Perfect.
Yeah. Perfect.
House rules. Just pencil it in. Pencil it out.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad that this game is out. I'm looking forward to the expert, not looking forward to being perfect bound because then it won't match my basic book. But hey, you got to make sacrifices. But I'm really, really, this is a fun. It's more fun than people. And if you can get into the genre, like I don't run this with my regular Monday group unless I'm like play testing something for the con. The reason being there's like some of the group, if it doesn't have magic in it, they're not happy. Yes, I could let the mystery men stuff, that in and stuff.
Yeah.
But, I also I run Savage World sometimes, and I use the Goon role-playing setting. And the guys come up and told me, he says, yeah, we like that better because there's magic in it. I said, okay, now I'm reading the room. I'm understanding. Okay, we're not going to run this very often. But what I would like to do in the future here is to set up I'm going to start using Owlbear Rodeo and see if I can get an online Gangbusters thing going.
Right.
Because this will probably work great. I've already got some great tokens for it. Maps might be a bit of a problem, but there's always. Well, if you just want to use the maps you find, I mean, there's plenty of stuff out there. Building layouts and stuff like that. If you want to redo them yourself, but there is stuff on drive-through like that. More modern maps, so I could use that. Yeah, I think this would be great for an online game.
Oh yeah,
I think fantastic. What about you, Eric? You gonna run any of it? I want to see you run I want to see you run a Gangbusters game at North Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna.
Come on, Mark. Let's put the heat on him.
I don't have to work. I don't have to work a table, and I don't have to run a game for Frog God. So I might, for the first time in like 3 or 4 years, at a convention playing games. I stopped playing the games because I never had time. I was running games and I was running the table and drinking. So I mean, and there's a priority in that whole thing too. Like the drinking has to come in at some point. But I might actually play in some games this year. So I don't know if I plan on running anything. Depends. We'll see.
You know what's going to happen? We're going to like 2 days with me, you, and Mark in the bar saying, "Yeah, we ought to run some." Yeah, we ought.
All right.
Already, I'm not scheduled to play. I mean, I just want to play, but I know I'm going to end up running games. It's just
and the sign up for the games doesn't start until April 15th. So
like I said,
tax day.
First you got to get your badge. Then you got to when it opens, do that. Me, I'm lazy now. I'm too lazy now. So I let Gage schedule all his games. I'll play something. I'm gonna run something. I'll have a game up there and stuff. And if you can think of a game,
as long as they get to play Gangbusters, I'm good.
Well,
I used to stay up past midnight to register for games at North Texas, and now I'm just going to sleep. If I play as a player, it's because it's something that was on the board when I got there. They got open slots forever.
Hey, Rob, they don't start register. People don't start picking the games till then, but you can submit a game now if you want. If you want to get it in the program or something.
All right. Well, there you go.
I'll just leave that open for you right there.
I haven't submitted anything just yet. Like I said, it might be my con not to run a game. We shall see.
I don't know.
That's fine.
I might make some Gangbuster T-shirts for people who run the game.
All right. Fuck you. No, fuck you. I'm going to tell you. It's fuck you. All right. I mean it with utmost respect. Okay. I really do. Utmost respect.
Yeah, why should we? By the way, it's 3XLT.
Right.
Yeah, well, you know, again, I did 20 years in the NYPD, and the unofficial motto of one of the units I worked in was, "If it's free, it's for me." And you know,
yeah. 20 years in the sheriff's department. I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that.
It's like, you know, a good cop knows food. You either know where to eat really, really good food, or you know where to eat really, really cheap. And the food doesn't have to be good, but it won't kill you.
This is why the stereotype of donuts, don't mind if I do.
Coppers and crullers, man. You got to go crullers because it's usually like, you know, the granulated sugar as opposed to the powdered sugar, and it doesn't get on that dark blue uniform shirt. You gotta really pay future attention to what could cause a mess on that shirt, because God knows most cops aren't cleaning that every day after tour. Hang it up; it'll dry by tomorrow.
I know we're gonna roommate Mark, and I will get yours, and it's like, please don't pay me in t-shirts.
I won't. Don't worry.
Pay him in t-shirts.
Shush you.
Glenn takes a large short. All right, so we just want a bib on Glenn is what we want. Right?
Extra small short, a little bib.
I'm sitting behind the GM screen with the big Gangbusters bib. Yeah.
Yes.
It's got a lobster on one side and Gangbusters on the other.
Ignore the man behind the bib. Does not exist. Don't ignore it.
Oh, I don't know. What I was thinking about actually doing was making some flask with Gangbusters etched on it.
Wow.
You know, like a little drinking flask, you know, and you got Gangbusters etched on the front.
I'd buy that. Hey,
I was thinking about making some of those.
Make quite a few. You know, you can put them in the auction. You can sell them there.
Oh, I can do that.
I know Bad Mike would love to have those for an auction, for the midnight auction or the other auction, or, you know, yeah, that's great. If you got Gangbuster, you know, stuff, merch, that'd go over real good, I think.
I have like a special one of a kind box set. It's like the only one exists because for me, is the only box set.
Okay.
I mean, when I say only one exists, it's the only one.
Wow.
Numero uno.
Yeah. Because I was thinking about putting the box set up, but I didn't. But it's 6x9, the whole box set. Well, 8x10. This was 8x10.
8x10. Holy moly. Man, you're making us drool now.
Dig it out.
I'll see it at the con. You're making us drool, man. You know, man.
Glenn's rules without the anyway. So we just make sure somebody mops them up.
That's why this cup is here.
There you go. It's a drool cat.
Yeah.
Like another is a good one. Broadway Empire, whole campaigns right there. You know, Boardwalk Empire. Look at right there. Yeah. You got all the stuff in Jersey right down the road from you. You could just take that and go.
Yeah. That sounds great. Anyway, hey, Mark, thanks for coming.
Yes, seriously, man. This was
now that I got the right time.
I am sure we will have you.
There's always those assignments that you're late to through no fault of your own. Boss, you told me 1900. I told you. No, I told you 1600. No, look what I wrote down. We wrote down wrong. No, you told me wrong.
But you wash your hands.
I wrote it down.
It's okay. I've done that before myself, you know. I missed Tavern Chat a couple times because I couldn't get the time.
We forgive you, Glenn. We forgive you.
Okay. And you're always welcome on this show.
Right.
Yes.
And you're always welcome at Tavern Chat too. So
excellent.
You know, that's great.
Tavern Chats are Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, and we just hang out in the Tavern's Discord server.
8 p.m. Central.
All right.
And we talk anything geek and gaming related. So Glenn falls into his movies every once in a while. and we go down some really weird rabbit holes when it comes to movies.
Yeah, I fall into my because my other hobby is movie buff.
Yes.
Then we fall into the rabbit hole of Eric's time on the force, and then we both start talking about old man stuff.
I can tell you some crazy
medical stuff.
I'm sure me and Eric can sit down and talk about some crazy war stories, boy.
I'd love to hear some. I'd love to hear some new ones. I've heard Eric's. I'd love to hear some new ones.
Oh, I can tell you some. Wow.
Well,
ask Derek. Ask Derek about. I ask Derek about herding prostitutes sometime.
I can tell you that. I can tell you that story. That's it.
Yeah, Hose Rise on Hunts Point, man, those were always fun. But folks listening at home, watching at home, Tavern's Discord server, free to join. Tenkar's Tavern whatever Discord. Just do a search for it. And there's an invite on the invite link on tenkarstavern.com. We do a live hangout every Thursday night. Everybody's welcome. It's an open mic. It's not like a comedy show open mic. But everybody's invited to participate.
It tends to turn into a comedy. It
could. Do a little stand up, do a little soft shoe. You never know. Again, Mark, thank you so much because
thank you. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to what you're coming out, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in North Texas.
All right.
Yep, folks, Gangbusters BX edition. Grab it now.
Drive-through RPG.
99 cents a drive-through as of today's date.
$1.99.
99 cents. No, it's 99 cents right now. 2/5, 2021. So I can't say what it'll be on 2/6. So fuck you. Get over there and buy it. Buy it now. Yes. Even if you just
electronically print, especially a print version. The print PDF is the best deal. Print PDF is the best deal.
But in any case, grab it. Mark's got some good stuff. You might as well enjoy it.
You got
all right, folks. Neither one of us, none of us, of the three of us, are medical professionals, so we're not going to give medical advice in the world of COVID. I'm just going to say use your fucking common sense to protect yourself, your loved ones, your family, your friends. All right.
Thank you, Mo.
You wouldn't throw a 10 by 10 fireball to a 10 by 10 room because you got common sense. You wouldn't kill your party with that firebolt because you got common sense. So use your common sense in the world of COVID.
The player has the common sense.
Come on. Stop rule lawyering, Glenn. God bless. Roll those dice well. And
good night, folks.
Good night.
Latest.
Good night, folks.
All right.